He was built like a tank. He hit like a runaway train. And for a short window in the mid-1990s, Ahmed Johnson looked like the future of the World Wrestling Federation. But just as fast as he exploded onto the scene, his body betrayed him. Today we are taking an in-depth look into the rise, fall, and unrealized potential of the Pearl River powerhouse, Ahmed Johnson. A man who should have made history, but whose career was plagued by injuries that halted him at every turn. So remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop a comment down below. Let's hit the intro and get into it. Break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up. Born Anthony Norris in Kokomo, Indiana, on June 6, 1963, his early childhood was unstable. He endured a harsh childhood, where his father abused his mother regularly, and abused him as well if he ever intervened. Eventually, he settled and grew up for most of his youth in Auburndale, Florida, a small city where he developed into a standout athlete. Norris excelled in football, basketball, amateur wrestling, and track and field, a rare mix of size and explosiveness that would follow him the rest of his life. As a teenager, he moved to Texas, where he continued playing sports and developing physically. Norris grew into a massive young man, and coaches encouraged him to pursue football at a higher level. After high school, he attended the University of Tennessee, joining one of the major college football programs in the country, where he played linebacker, showcasing his aggression and power that would later define him in professional wrestling. Following college, he caught the interest of NFL scouts and received an opportunity with the Dallas Cowboys, where he spent time trying to make the roster. He wasn't a long-term Cowboy, but he was around the organization long enough to be seen as a legitimate pro-level athlete, something very few future wrestlers could claim at the time. After his NFL window closed, Norris enlisted in the United States Army, but his military career ended abruptly. According to Norris himself, he was discharged after striking a commanding officer, a captain he believed was giving what he described at the time as cowardly orders. Norris claimed he acted out of principle, a moment that revealed both his intensity and notorious temper. Out of the Army and away from football, Norris became heavily involved in bodybuilding. His incredible genetics made him stand out instantly. That's when he was encouraged to try professional wrestling, a suggestion that would shape the rest of his life. Tony began training under several respected veterans that included the likes of Ivan Putski and Scott Casey. These were old school trainers who pushed him brutally. Norris later said wrestling training was harder than football, and respected those trainers for instilling discipline in him. Norris debuted in 1989 and spent the next several years grinding through the independent circuit. He wrestled in small promotions across the South and Southwest before gaining notable exposure in promotions like Global Wrestling Federation, where he wrestled as a powerhouse heel character that gave him TV time and helped him find his voice. NWA Dallas, where he feuded for the NWA North American Championship. In Japan, he worked more physically, stiff style, and learned how to pace longer matches. By the end of 1995, Norris was no longer just an athlete learning to wrestle, he was a legitimate prospect. And that's when Vince McMahon and the WWF came calling. In mid-1995, Norris signed with the World Wrestling Federation and was rechristened Ahmed Johnson. From day one, he was pushed as a major babyface, fiery, intense, a powerhouse of a superstar with a unique look and a blistering physique. He debuted on TV where he body slammed the 600-pound Yokozuna on an October 23, 1995 episode of the WWF flagship show Monday Night Raw, and immediately became one of the fastest rising stars of the new generation era. In early 1996, Ahmed entered his first major feud with Jeff Jarrett. At the 1996 Royal Rumble, Jarrett smashed a guitar over Ahmed's head as a result in a storyline concussion that sent Ahmed to the hospital. Though he returned quickly, this was foreshadowing of something that would plague his entire run: injuries stopping big momentum. In April of 1996, WWF held the Kuwaiti Cup tournament, and Johnson won the entire thing, defeating Hunter Hearst Helmsley in the finals. This victory was heavily promoted internationally and signaled what WWF saw in Ahmed as one of the next global breakout stars. This led to the 1996 King of the Ring, where Ahmed Johnson defeated Goldust to become the first ever African-American Intercontinental Champion in WWF history. With this win, it generally looked like Ahmed was on the fast track to becoming a main event star, and seemed sure a world championship was down the road. In July of '96, Johnson was placed in the main event of the WWF In Your House International Incident pay-per-view, teaming with Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid, who's a replacement for the Ultimate Warrior, against the Camp Cornette team of Vader, Owen Hart, and the British Bulldog. The match was heavily promoted, and Johnson looked like he belonged in a headline spot. The company was investing in him in a level no other new babyface was receiving at the time. On the July 22nd edition of Raw, Michaels and Johnson teamed again and challenged the Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart, for the Tag Team Championship. During the match, Farouk Assad debuted and attacked Johnson. This was to lead to a match at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. However, behind the scenes, Johnson was diagnosed with legitimate kidney problems. As a result, he was out for 4 months, and in order to keep the angle going, the attack by Farouk was said to have caused the kidney damage. The injury forced him to vacate the Intercontinental Championship, which was eventually won in a tournament by Wildman Mark Merrow. This was the biggest momentum killer of his career. Johnson returned later in 1996 to enter a feud with Farouk, who by then had had a new gimmick and formed his own stable, the Nation of Domination. Finally, the two had an encounter at the 1997 Royal Rumble, where Johnson won by disqualification. He began teaming with the Legion of Doom, and the three fought the entire nation at WrestleMania 13 in a Chicago street fight. In June of that year, Johnson turned on then WWF champion The Undertaker and joined the New Nation with Kama Mustafa, D'Lo Brown, and Farouk. He was scheduled to face The Undertaker at the Canadian Stampede pay-per-view for the WWF title, but injuries again reared their ugly head and he was replaced by Vader. The Nation turned on him after he recovered and returned in August of 1997, replacing him with Rocky Maivia, which resulted in Johnson turning face once more. He restarted his feud with the Nation and would reunite with the Legion of Doom, as well as joining forces with Ken Shamrock during that feud. At Survivor Series in 1997, they defeated the Nation in a Survivor Series match. Each time the WWF tried to heat him back up, something broke. By late 1997 and early 1998, Ahmed Johnson's body had suffered too many legitimate injuries. His explosiveness was fading, his conditioning struggled, and the company lost confidence, placing him in major spots. Johnson quietly left the WWF in 1998 after the No Way Out pay-per-view in February. In late 1999, Norris signed a contract with World Championship Wrestling and debuted at the sold-out pay-per-view as a heel. He had gained massive amounts of weight at the time and now was known as Big T. He interfered in a match between Harlem Heat tag partners and real-life brothers Booker T and Stevie Ray. Big T and Stevie Ray formed a new tag team called Harlem Heat 2000. At Super Brawl, he defeated Booker to earn the rights to the Harlem Heat name and the letter T. After departing WCW in 2000, he wrestled a few independent dates, but officially retired in 2003. In the mid-90s, Ahmed Johnson had everything. A unique look, raw intensity, fan connection, and a historic Intercontinental Championship reign. WWF placed him in main events, international tournaments, and heavily promoted angles. But the career-altering injuries kept pulling him out of the spotlight right when things were heating up. Many fans and historians still believe that Ahmed Johnson could have become the first ever black WWF champion, years before it finally happened. Instead, his career stands out as one of the greatest what-if stories. A reminder that talent and potential aren't always enough when your body won't cooperate. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rise and fall of Ahmed Johnson, remember to hit that like button, subscribe button, share the video, drop a comment down below. What are some of your favorite memories of Ahmed Johnson if you have any? Thanks for watching, and we will see you again.
Watch out, 'cause I'm here now and I'm staying.